everybody, hello, greetings, and welcome to this news update. I am the Ninjaneer, and this is my hair when it is pulled back without the do-rag. Anyway, let's go ahead and jump into this news video. We have a lot to discuss. The topics for today will be Ford fires a large portion of its EV staff, Tesla was outsold in EVs, kinda. Coldpocalypse and an anecdote. Aptera hit 30 million in the Accelerator Program, and Aptera Deliveries from 2025 to be determined for those not on the Accelerator Program. What does that mean? Alright, let's go ahead and get going. Oh, sorry, last but not least, things that I liked. Yeah. Alright, now, I saw this story first from the Electric Viking, but after looking into it, the number of employees that will actually be let go is, we'll say, in contention. Anywhere from 600 or 700 to 1,400 employees, depending on what article I read. In other words, about 30 to 70% of their F-150 Lightning staff is going to be let go. The reason cited for this was the perceived slow adoption or slowdown in the adoption of EVs among the leaders of legacy automotive companies. People skeptical of the assessment cite data that says that EVs overall see an increasing, not decreasing demand. It is also worth noting that year over year the sales for EVs have increased, and so has the number of people surveyed that says they want to get an EV for their next vehicle. The more likely case is that the sales of the Lightning specifically are a massive loss to the company to the tune of $50-ish thousand per vehicle sold, and they're hunkering down trying to figure out how to make the vehicle more profitable by slowing down and rethinking their process. Although I hate to see that there are so many workers being laid off or having their pay cut depending on the individual situations of those involved, this could be an interesting chance for Ford to actually design an EV instead of just kind of ripping out the guts of a gas drivetrain and throwing in some batteries. The slowdown just gives other companies that start with an A and end with a the ability to come in and scoop up the market share left behind in the wake of that strange decision. BYD outsold Tesla in the last quarter of 2023. Tesla still outsold them for the year as a whole, but it is worth noting that Tesla's pace, while still staggering compared to the rest of the automobile world, was slightly behind BYD's pace. Yeah. I'm fairly curious to see where both companies go from here and what these two behemoths will do to adapt to the ebb and flow of changing technologies in the EV space. There have been dozens of news outlets covering what I like to call the Coldpocalypse and the implications of what cold weather does to an EV battery. Long story short, many of those outlets purport that EVs are inferior and will never make it because coal and batteries mix about as well as oil and water at the moment. While these issues are currently more pronounced in the EV world, internal combustion vehicles are not immune either. So, for anecdotal purposes, I drive an Acura TLX to and from pretty much everywhere I happen to go at the moment, minus a couple of exceptions where I'll drive my Civic. At any rate, on average for a tank, I get something like 27-ish MPG. The highest I've achieved in the vehicle as far as efficiency goes is 38 MPG for an entire tank from start to finish driving around town. When I drive on my favorite road, that tends to make that number vary because my favorite road is the road that I drive best on and the road that I get the best efficiency on. I will share my favorite road when I test the Aptera's range, but yeah, just know it has a very nice mix of turns and uphills and downhills, and I'll sometimes even go kind of out of my way to drive on it, and there's not another road I can drive on that I get better gas mileage, just in all of Colorado. At any rate, when I drove down that road after getting a fresh tank of gas and resetting my odometer, which this road also happens to be from my house to my favorite gas station. But yeah, still, digression. Get back on topic. All right, I was able to get about 22 MPG cumulatively for that weekend. Mind you, the temperatures were negative. We had a high of 0 on Saturday, a high of -1 on Sunday, and then Monday was like 4 degrees. Anyway, long story short, those 3 days I was able to get 22 miles per gallon. The news stories I read online all stated a loss of range for an EV of about 40%, and some even went as far as to say that the range hit could end EV's practicality in cold weather. But based on my tests, the Coldpocalypse even took the range of my gas vehicle down by about 42% if you take into account the fact that I did drive on my favorite road, did the best that I could on the throttle, and still could only get 22 miles per gallon. That's not to say that there's not a litany of things that EVs direly need to improve on over time, but cold weather driving when compared to ICE vehicles is not one of them. The Accelerator Program reached $30 million. That is a fantastic bit of news, especially when you consider the original purpose for the Accelerator Program. Initially, it was a way to supplement the $21 million matching grant that Aptera received from California, and they have surpassed that goal by 40-ish%. Yeah, there's a lot of 40-ish% this video, now that I'm thinking about it. Yeah, interesting. Anyway, Drive the Lightning highlighted the fact that the expected delivery dates have changed again. I have seen changes in my own reservation page that I would like to cover in a separate video, but please note that I do not think these changes are surprising. From a strictly logical standpoint, if they are getting Accelerator vehicles out late this year, and there are going to be 2,000 of those, of course I would assume that 2025 will be the earliest a non-Accelerator gets their vehicle. That is kind of what makes my situation unique and why I wanted to talk about my page and my reservation later on. Speaking of the Accelerator Program, I will emphasize again that it's coming to a close. All of the slots are starting to fill up faster, and I'm going to announce the winner of my slot giveaway as soon as all the slots are filled for the Accelerator Program as a whole. I'm also accepting entries until that time, so please see the video link below to enter and hopefully win that slot. If you want an Accelerator slot but can't invest $10,000 before like late February, I'm assuming, when this program is going to be completely filled, this is probably your best shot to become an Accelerator, or rather to have an Accelerator slot. Yeah, working that out mentally. Anyway, yeah, so things that I liked this week. Yeah, so there were, technically this is covering 2 weeks of time, since I didn't put a things I liked at the end of my previous video. Sorry about that. I was just kind of so focused on getting that particular set of good news out that I was gone, guys. I had to get it out there. So anyway, things I liked this week and last week. Aptera Owners Club finished a series that they did on e-bikes. They reviewed a total of 4 e-bikes, and all of their reviews are linked below. They were all very insightful, very helpful, and very interesting, so much so that I have decided to look into a electric type bike for myself, depending on the situation and how expensive they end up actually being, seeing as I haven't actually clicked on any links yet. But that is a thought in my head, so, you know, kind of stay tuned. Maybe we'll see something from that. Anyway, Drive the Lightning had a video entitled That's a FAQ, FAQ video. Very fun, very nice, very interesting. Yeah, that is a video that I would encourage you guys to check out, and it is below. They answered quite a few interesting questions for people that are going to be first-time EV owners, and yeah, I just wanted to highlight that video because it was very good and very enlightening to myself, being a gas car owner who is also going to get their first EV. Tailosive EV has been putting out a ton of great videos, but a couple that kind of stuck out for me were the fact that Tesla may scrap the range extender. That was a video that more of a speculative video about the range extender and its practicality. And he also did one that is called Aptera is not Arcimoto, which I didn't think about it before now, but a lot of people, when I even talk to people about Aptera, they compare it to things like the Slingshot and other three-wheeled vehicles because they are three-wheeled vehicles, and I have to fairly regularly debunk the fact that no, that's not what's going on. That's not what the thought process should be. Not all three-wheeled vehicles are the same, just like all four-wheeled vehicles are not the same. Yeah, he did a really good job of spelling out the differences, and I would recommend that video as well. Somebody new, Butter the Insider is, it's weird to say still for me, but anyway, this gentleman did a very interesting video about the state of the dealership industry when it comes to particular Dodges, Dodge Demons and other types of high-performance Dodge vehicles. He does a good job of covering a sort of scandal that occurred over the course of the past year or so, in how difficult it was or how weird it was to get a high-performance Dodge vehicle. I would suggest checking that out because he does give a lot of insight as to what some dealerships, most dealerships are thinking and how they can get over on you if you don't know what's going on. So, yeah, I believe that will be the end of this video. Thank you guys so much for watching in its entirety. I am the Ninjaneer. If you'd like to like and or subscribe and other YouTubey things, the links are provided down below and up top and in front of my face at some point in the future. So yeah, again, thank you all, and I'll catch you next time. One last piece of the puzzle. One last piece of the puzzle. Oh, no, wait a minute. Oh, goodness gracious. There we go. One last piece of the puzzle. Yep. One last. There you are. Okay. There have been dozens of news outlets covering the Coldpocalypse and the implications of what cold weather does to an EV battery. Long story short, many of those outlets purport that EVs are inferior and will never make it to will never make it because cold and yeah, we're just gonna go ahead and redo that. There have been dozens of news outlets covering the Coldpocalypse, and there have been dozens of vehicles. Wow. The Accelerator Program reached 30 million. Oh wow, I'm gonna start that over.